Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was a traveler. Now you are probably thinking that this is not a particularly exciting beginning to this tale, and neither is it all that original. There are travelers from all walks of life who wander across lands both near and far for innumerable reasons, business, pleasure, and just plain necessity. This story, however, is a little different. It is not an epic sweeping tale of grand adventure. There are no sword fights, no dragons, no princesses sealed away in high towers. It is a lot smaller than that. Humbler. It is a simple story about how one traveler who should have been unremarkable by all accounts stumbled upon a secret tucked away in a small dusty corner where few bothered to venture, and managed to change the lives of 2 young women. Yes, that sounds like an interesting story. Wouldn't you agree, Grandma Meayumi? Of course I agree. The Traveler. Arg, I can't believe this. A shadowy figure was trampling through the moors, a hood drawn over their face. Rain pelted the figure from all sides, and the wind stirred the edges of their worn traveling cloak. Still, the figure did not slow in their solitary march. They could not. If they did, they might collapse from fatigue, and then they would never be able to get back up again. The rain on these desolate moors was unforgiving. It fell from the gray, overcast, endlessly threatening to submerge the landscape with water. Not that the landscape was much to look at, really. There were a few scrubby, weather-blasted bushes and a withered old tree that seemed ready to collapse. That was all. Siesta? It was the travelers' first time in Daqua, and they were not particularly impressed. That accursed goblin. What did he take me for? If I see him again, I'll wring his neck. There we go. The traveler cursed under their breath. There was no reason for them to do so, as there was nobody within 100 miles who could hear them, but it made them feel better. It gave them reason to keep going. Revenge. Ooh, I like this. They couldn't let themselves die out here, not until they had tracked down that conniving, backstabbing rogue and what? Killed him. No. That would never work. The traveler was a merchant, not a mercenary, and they had never killed anybody before. Okay, so killing's out. They were a vegetarian, for goodness sake. Okay, I guess vegetarians can't kill people. They would have to do something else then. But what? Maybe this was nothing more than foolishness. Daqua was a large country, and the goblin would be long gone by now. They would never see him again. No, I can't back down. I will find him. I will. The traveler's ears twitched. Their nose was running. Ooh, gross. They sniffled, trying to stem a trail of snot that was beginning to trickle from their right nostril. It's just gross. That wasn't very appealing. No kidding. The rain had seeped through their traveling cloak, and the traveler's skin was icy cold. Even their shoes were waterlogged, and they had good shoes, too. High-quality dragon hide from the best tailor in Charlotte. Not that it mattered now. They were ruined. The traveler. That goblin, I have to find him. I'll show him what for. He could have dropped me off outside the village gates, but no. It's only a 5-minute walk, he said. Follow the path, he said. What path? The traveler had been duped, and they knew it. The goblin had not only taken their money, but had refused to deliver them to their destination. They had been walking for 5 hours and had still not encountered a single dwelling. The rain was getting heavier. The traveler did not fancy their chances. What if they died? But life, as always, has a way of providing when we need it the most. When things look grim and we have lost all hope, there was always a light to guide us. A light that takes us by the metaphorical hand and envelops us in warmth. At least that is how the stories work. It would be a tragically short tale if the main character died within the first 5 minutes. That's cute. It was when the traveler finally accepted the possibility of their own imminent death with teary eyes and a snotty nose that they had chanced upon it. Salvation. There in the distance, over the tops of one of the many hills, was a shape. A structure. A building. It was no piece of vegetation like the other markers that dotted the environment. This shadow, though faint, had walls and a roof, and there were lights flickering in the windows like fireflies. The traveler. The traveler gulped. They had almost succumbed to the cold. Their fiery indignation towards the goblin had faded alongside with their scraps of strength, and they had been on the verge of surrender. Sweet, blissful surrender. But they could hardly do that now. They had to keep going.